Dear brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Today we will inshallah summarize para number 27, part number 27, which consists of 7 surah and it has 399 verses. Inshallah we summarize into 69 important points. The first surah, surah number 51, the surah of wind, the dhurriyat, and we will do it from the verse number 31 to the end, verse number 60. Then surah number 52, Tur, the mount, and the revelation number is 76 and it has 49 verses. Surah number 53, and Najm, the star, revelation number 23, and it was revealed in Makkah, it has 62 verses. Surah number 54, Al-Qamar, the moon, it was revelation number 37, it was revealed in Makkah and it has 55 verses. Surah number 55, Ar-Rahman, the beneficent, the revelation number is 97, it was revealed in Medina and it has 78 verses. Surah number 56, Al-Waqi'ah, the inevitable, the revelation number 46, it was revealed in Makkah and it has 96 verses. Surah number 57, Al-Hadid, the iron, the revelation number is 94, it was revealed in Medina and we will cover the first 29 verses. Now inshallah we start surah number 51 to cover the verses from 31 to 60. Allah described the discussion of Ibrahim alayhi salam with the angel who came down. They were destined to send out to the Lut alayhi salam nation to destroy it, and the whole story of that one is repeated here. Then the stories of Pharaoh, the story of Musa alayhi salam, the nation of the Samud and the nation of Noah has been repeated, and their incidences and their stories has been stated again. Allah said, He has created man and jinn. For what purpose? Only to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَمَا خَلَقْتُ الْجِنَّ وَالْإِنسَ إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُونَ. We have created man and jinn to worship only Allah. We know our purpose now. Allah says, Allah is the all-provider, the owner of the power, and the most strong. And the surah ends here. And then we go to surah number 52, At-Tur. Allah says, on the day of judgment, when the heaven will be shaken with a dreadful shaking, and the mountains will move anyway with a horrible movement. Disbelievers who used to play with the Allah's message in this world, they will be on the day of judgment, they will be pushed down by the force of the fire of the hell with a horrible and forceful pushing wind. And this is the fire which you used to belie and you used to deny. And the muttaqeen will be placed into Jannah, into the heavens with a delight. And the believers will eat and drink with happiness because of what they used to do in this world. Allah says, the believers will recline and lie down with ease on the thrones and arrange in ranks, in different ranks, and Allah will arrange their marriage of hur with the believers. The hurs will be fair color with white, lovely eyes, and pious children will be joined with their parents in Jannah without compromising and lowering anybody's status. The believers will eat fruits and eat meat as well as wine. There they will not hear any vain talk. There will be the boys who will be serving them. The boys will be such expensive jewels like pearls and the coral. And Allah mentioned then the details of the punishment of the disbeliever, and Allah discussed the hellfire again. And the surah ends here. Then surah 53, the Al-Najm, the stars. Allah says, your companion Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam has neither gone astray, nor has he gone mad, nor does he speak of his own desire. It is only the revelation he revealed. He has been taught the Quran by Jibreel alayhi salam. Jibreel has no defect in body and mind. He used to come close to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam at the time of delivering wahi. And he used to come close, as close to the distance between the two shoulders. Allah says in verse 12, the disbeliever will then dispute with Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and that what you saw during the journey of Isra and Mi'raj, and what Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam has seen in the 7 heavens. Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam met various prophets. From heaven 1, he met Adam alayhi salam, and then heaven 7, he met Ibrahim alayhi salam, and he visited Baitul Ma'mur, where 70,000 angels pray at a time. And finally, he saw this Sidratul Muntaha, a tree that out of the most boundary of the 7th heaven, and nobody can pass there. And there were many angels in the heavens whose intercession will avail nothing except after Allah has given permission for whom He will and with whom He is pleased. Nobody, not even the angels, can come and make any recommendation or intercession for anybody. No one shall carry the burden of the other person. Nobody will carry other people's sin. People of Samud, people of Noah, and they were destroyed, and many other cities were destroyed. Allah says, think about the day of resurrection. You are laughing? In fact, you should be weeping now. You are wasting your precious lifetime in pastime and amusement, in singing, in music and movies. Allah says, make sujood to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and worship Him alone. And the surah ends here. Surah number 54, Al-Qamar, the moon. Allah says, the hour of destruction is coming near. At the request of Makkans, Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam showed a miracle of splitting the moon. The day when the caller will call them to terrible things, they will come out with humbled eyes from their graves. The story of Nuh alayhi salam nations, Ad, Samud, Saleh alayhi salam, and the she-camel, and the Lut alayhi salam nations stories, they have been repeated here again. Allah mentioned, indeed, we have made the Quran easy to understand. What Allah is saying, we have made the Quran easy to understand and remember. Then, is there anyone to receive admonition? This verse in this surah is repeated 4 times, dear brothers. The Quran is easy to understand, and the Quran is easy to remember. The day they will be dragged on their faces into the fire, it will be said to them, taste the hellfire. And everything small and big is written down before it has happened or before it is carried in Lawh Mahfuz. And the surah ends here. In surah number 55, Surah Rahman, the Beneficent, Allah says, the star and the trees both prostrate to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Adam was created from a clay, like of the clay of the pottery, and jinns were created from a smokeless flame of fire. Allah asked the question, which of the blessing of your Lord will you both, jinn and man, will deny? And this verse, فَبِأَيِّ آلَاءِ رَبِّكُمَا تُكَذِّبَانِ, it is repeated in this surah 31 times, just to emphasize to the mankind and to the jinn that how many favors Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is giving and how many one that can you deny. Allah says He is the Lord of the 2 east, because the sun at different places rises during the early summer and the early winter. And Allah says He is the Lord of the 2 west, because at different places the sun set during the early summer and the early winter. Allah has let loose the 2 seas, one having the saltish water and other having the sweet and fresh water, but none of them are transgressing and they are not mixing it, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created a barrier between both waters, but they are moving along side by side. Both seas provide pearls and the coral. Then Allah says, O assembly of jinn and man, If you have the power to pass beyond the zone of the heavens and the earth, then show me and go ahead and pass it. But you will never be able to pass them, except with the authority of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah will send a smokeless flame. Allah will send a smokeless flame of fire and molten brass. And molten brass are men and jinn, and they will not be able to defend themselves. What will happen when the heaven is burst and it becomes rosy and red, or the red leather? Then the mujrimeen, the sinner, will be recognized by their blackened face, and they will be seized and dragged by their forehead hairs and their feet. Allah described the blessing and the provisions of the Jannah and the paradise. The hurs, the beauty of the hur is when Allah saying is like rubies and the coral. They will be the resident of the pavilion. They have not been touched by neither man or jinn. Allah said, blessed be the name of your Lord, and the honor and the majesty and the honor. And the Surah Rahman ends here. We start Surah Waqi'ah, Surah number 56. Allah says, when the day of resurrection will happen, the earth will be shaken with a terrible shake. The mountains will be powdered to dust, and they will become floating dust particles. All people will be divided into three groups. The right hand people, those who will be holding their book in their right hand, will be the fortunate people, and they will go to the Jannah, they will go to the paradise. The people on the left hand side, what unfortunate people will be those who will be having their book in their left hand, they will be placed into the hell and they will be disgraced. And the third group is the foremost righteous and the taqwa people, those who will be there, who will be the nearest to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. These people, Allah says, there will be lot of people from the first generation, the people who accepted Islam in the earlier days, and there will be very few people from the previous generation or the later generations which they have accepted the Islam. Allah says that in Jannah, the immortal boys will go around and will be serving the people of Jannah, and they will be carrying the cups and the jugs and the glasses of the flowing wines, and they will not get any ache of the heads or any kind of intoxication. And Allah described more things about heavens and the hurs, the stories and the qualities have been repeated. Allah says they will not hear any vain talk in Jannah. They will not hear any vain talks in Jannah. They will hear salam, salam, peace and peace upon you. And their wives will be made virgin and equal age in the paradise. Allah mentioned the people on the left hand side will be fierce, hot wind, and the boiling water will be given, and they will have a shadow of black smoke. And this shadow will neither be cool nor even pleasant, and they will be given to eat the zakkum, and with a boiling hot water, they will drink this boiling water like a thirsty camel. Allah says, when a person is dying and his soul is about to be taken away, then the disbeliever, can you stop it? And can you bring that soul back into that person? You cannot. And the surah ends here. Surah 57, Al-Hadid, the iron. Allah is the first. Nothing is before, and Allah is the last, and nothing is after. Allah is the most high, nothing is above him. Allah is the nearest, and there is nothing is nearer than him. He is the knower of everything. In verse 8, Allah says, what is the matter with you? Allah is questioning. What is the matter with you that you believe not in Allah when the Messenger Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam invites you to believe in your Lord Allah. Then verse 10, Allah repeat again, what is the matter with you that you do not spend in the cause of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala all the belonging, all the wealth that you have, it belongs to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and Allah is the one who has given you. Allah says, not equal among you are those who spent and fought before the conquering of the Makkah. Allah says, who is he that will lend a loan to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will increase many fold of his loan and give it back to him. And he will have beside that a good reward of Jannah. Allah mentioned on the day of judgment, when the hypocrites, men and women, will say to the people of the believers, please wait for us. Let us get some of the light from you. And the believers will be asked to tell the hypocrites, go back to your place in the rear where you would not find any light. So there will be a wall between the mu'mineen, the believers, and the hypocrites. Then there will be a gate inside with a mercy, and outside will be torments and the punishment. The hypocrites will call the believers, were we not with you? The believers will reply, yes, but you led yourself into temptation. You looked forward for your destruction. You doubted in the faith. You were deceived by the false desire till the command of Allah came to pass, and the chief deceiver, Shaitan, deceived you in the respect of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. In verse 15, Allah says, no ransom will be taken from the disbeliever to save them from the hellfire. Allah says, who gives sadaqat, zakat, and infaq, and lend money to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He will increase their reward by many, many fold, and there shall be an honorable, good reward, which is Jannah. Allah says, this world is only play and amusement, pompousness and mutual boasting among you, and rivalry in respect of wealth and children. But in the hereafter, there is a severe punishment for the disbeliever who have done wrong. And there will be forgiveness from Allah for the people who have done the good deeds, who believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and the life of this world is only a deceiving enjoyment. In verse 29, Allah says, Jews and Christians may know that they have no power whatsoever over the grace of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And that is the grace entirely in His hand to bestow upon it, whoever He wills. Allah is the owner of great bounty. This surah and this para ends here. Dear brothers and sisters, I pray to Allah that may Allah guide us to read, understand, implement Quran on our life, and as well as give us the strength to spread the message of Quran in our community. Thank you.
صلوا علیہ